Hey everybody, this is ESP LTD Guitar Lover coming to you live from Milford Gold Key Studio, and I told you I would be back with another review on a Trey Ting China guitar. But first, on a side note, our condolences to Jeff Hanneman, the guitarist for Slayer, who passed away today at 49 years old. Apparently, Jeff has been having some problems with a spider bite from a few years ago, either a year or two ago, that turned into a flesh-eating bacteria in his right arm. And apparently today he succumbed to liver damage from this, so our condolences to his family and friends. The model that we're going to be going over today is a Trey Ting China guitar. It's a model number G165937-821, and the seller again is JIXK LCPING 998. If you want to take a look at this guitar actually and get a little bit more specs on it and actually take a look at some different things, just get on the website, on Trey Ting's website, type in the number I just gave you, or on the top of the video, and you can actually see what the guitar picture looks like. Now, apparently when I ordered this, I had ordered it from the picture, and what they sent me was completely different from what the picture showed. Alright, so I know a lot of you guys, it's not like I ordered a Strat-shaped body or something. I ordered this shaped body. And I got that shaped body, but just completely different. And you'll see what I'm talking about when you do type this in. After a few hours of looking at it, I decided, well, okay, I'm going to keep the guitar. This is before I decided to start opening up my packages at the post office. So I had gotten two guitars. One of them was the wrong one. Decided to keep it, and then I started inspecting before I signed for them. So what this one has as far as specs pretty much will match the first one that I had done. It's got a mahogany body, maple veneer cap, mahogany neck, D-shaped neck profile, set-in neck, adjustable truss rod, 24.75 scale, rosewood fingerboard, and as like I said in my last video, these particular models do not come with ebony fingerboards. They might look it, but they are not ebony. And I'm sure if you talk to the seller, they could probably put an ebony fingerboard on it for you. Go for it. Trapezoid inlays, 12-inch fingerboard radius, same as on the other guitar. 22 medium jumbo frets, which are a little bit taller, or not as tall as the ESP Kamikaze models. They all have the medium jumbo frets now, but for some reason these aren't as tall on this one. The bridge and the neck pickups on these are a type of Alnico 2 humbucker pickups. I'm sure you're just going to rip them out of it anyway. So, volume tone capacitors on these are not the orange drop type. They are similar to the ESP LTD type tone pots and volume pots. Something like I said before in my last videos, you can live with them. But if it's something that you want to change to get better roll-off on your volumes and tones and stuff like that, there's millions of aftermarket products out there that you can get for these things. 3-way toggle switch, 2-pneumatic with a stop type tail setup. Nut width is 1 11/16. Hardware is nickel plated, but like I said on my other videos, I'm not really sure how thick the nickel plating is, so if you're a sweater, you know, if you sweat profusely like I do and stuff like that, it'll probably rot these things out pretty quickly. 14-to-1 tuners, like I said, and that's about it on this guitar as far as its specs. I'll give you a quick shot of it. Now, what had happened is if you take a look at the Trey Ting actual photograph, and you take a look at this guitar, you're going to say, that's not even close to being the same thing. I know that. But I kept the guitar anyway. But I did learn a valuable lesson to make sure that I inspect the package before I actually sign for it. The people at our post office, local post office, aren't that busy, so I can actually go in and cut the bottom, lift it up, cut the top, lift it up, and inspect the package. What I did notice on this, what I really liked a lot about it, and my wife even said the same thing, is that it's actually the same model as my first video. Okay, so you're all familiar with who the model comes from, alright, the famous name. Now, this particular model came with a darker tobacco-stained finish. Let me get it up on you. And it is a really beautiful finish. When I opened up the guitar, I opened it up from the bottom first, and I said, wow, you know, until I started to get up in this area, and then the pick guard was missing and everything like that. But I really do like this guitar. It has a beautiful sound to it, it really does. But if you can see the finish on it, look at that right there. See, I'm trying to get as close as I can to you. I turned the lights down here in the studio a little bit and dimmed them so it's not as bright. I got a couple complaints on my first video again that it's too bright and it washes out the colors. So I'm hoping this one works. But it's got a beautiful finish on it, it really does. This one right here, they range, like I said, they range in price from $290, $308, $316. They jump up and down in price because of the yen and the American dollar and that. So this is a 3-piece body. And like I had also mentioned too on a couple of earlier videos, some of these are coming with like Shaler type strap lobs. So I just go over and hook them up on there. So no problem with that. Let me see, I'll show you the back. Alright. Nice back on that. Alright. Scarf joint, of course, is up here. It's just well hidden and painted over. So don't think that there's not a scarf joint there, because there is. Other than that, a beautiful, look at the finish on that. See how nice that is? That is a really nice finish. The other one has more of a butterscotch finish to it, the first video that I did. This one is more, like I said, is more like a tobacco finish, almost, it's like a smoked finish. Very beautiful looking guitar. It really is. Different hats on them. I mean, these volume and tone caps. Completely different from the first one. So it does differ slightly as far as what is being brought on there. Now, I've been getting a couple of emails about the bridge pieces here and stuff like that. I've been answering as many emails as I can. I'm directing you to a couple of people that I'm friends with on YouTube who will be able to answer most, if not all, your questions. A couple of them know the exact companies to go for replacement parts on these guitars, and it's a lot. It'll help you out a lot. Because that way you won't have to spend a ton of money and customizing or whatever like that. You just get what you need and it slaps right on there. Retrofits right to it. Alright guys, so let me show you the things down here. Here we go. Good fret, actually a good fret job on this one. First one I had a fret job on, no sharp frets, no bad fret edges. When I get these guitars and stuff like that, people are always saying, well, you know, you have to do some work. Of course you have to do some work on it. I don't consider going over and polishing my frets major work. I really don't. I don't consider a slight truss rod adjustment major work or changing strings major work, because you have to figure these things are coming from China through different humidity and temperatures and things like that. And a lot of these, guitars that I had gotten arrived in sub-zero weather. I mean, and it's going to screw up, it's going to throw off your adjustments of your truss rod slightly. So I've been telling a lot of my subscribers that when you get these things in, don't bother to change the strings, put it on a stand, let it sit in the room that it's going to be sitting in, and let it adjust to the temperature for a few days, the ambient temperature. And then that way you won't have to make such a major adjustment on the truss rod. On these I had little slight truss rod adjustments here and there. The intonation on the first one was dead on. This one right here was just slightly off, nothing big to talk about. But like I said, it's not considered major adjustments. Alright, I mean, major work to me is where you gotta rip the frets out, or you have to recrown the frets, or on like one of the guitars that I had received and that I'll be going over soon, had a bunch of dents in the frets. That's major work. Other than that, not too bad. So, alright, so what I'll do is I'll be back with another one and give you the model numbers on that. And in the meantime, this is ESP LTD Guitar Lover coming to you live from Milford Gold Key Studios. And remember one thing, shut up and play your guitar. Bye-bye.